During their brutal conquest of the Indian subcontinent, the greatest opponent of the British invaders was an Indian king known as Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan was the ruler of the kingdom of Mysore in southern India. Tipu Sultan managed to defend his kingdom against multiple British invasions, and he defeated the British army in many battles. Tipu Sultan bravely defended his land and humiliated British generals such as William Bailey, Colonel Braithwaite, and General James Stewart. By the late 1700s, the British had conquered most of India. The British managed to capitalize on internal divisions and weak Indian states who were constantly at war with each other. However, when the British armies reached the kingdom of Mysore, they were shocked by the brave king and general known as Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan was the greatest obstacle in the way of the British and their ambition to conquer India. Tipu Sultan's kingdom was one of the richest states in India. His independent kingdom produced spices, textiles, and silk, and had strong diplomatic relations with the Ottoman Empire, Persia, and Afghanistan. The immensely large army of Tipu Sultan consisted of 180,000 men, 60,000 horses, 6,000 camels, 900 elephants, a navy, and a variety of modern weapons such as large cannons, rockets, and guns. Apart from his strong military, Tipu Sultan had the full support of his people. Unlike many other kingdoms in India, the kingdom of Tipu Sultan was united due to religious tolerance and equality between Muslims, Hindus, and Christians. Although he was a Muslim, Tipu Sultan treated Hindus and Christians equally and donated large amounts of money to churches and temples. This is why the British were not able to exploit religious differences and divide the kingdom from within, as they had done in other parts of India. The British tried to conquer Tipu Sultan's kingdom but failed miserably. Tipu Sultan crushed one British army after another. Tipu Sultan's greatest victory was in 1780, when he defeated the British army led by William Bailey. Tipu Sultan managed to surround the British army in Bangalore, killing 7,000 British soldiers. The British army was completely destroyed and forced to surrender. This was the most humiliating defeat in the history of British India. After this humiliating defeat, the British sent General Hector Monro to lead another army against Tipu Sultan. However, Hector Monro refused to fight as he was afraid of the strength of Tipu Sultan's army. 2 years later, in the year 1782, the British gathered an even larger force led by General Braithwaite. This army was also defeated by Tipu Sultan, and the British were humiliated once again. Tipu Sultan called on the rulers of other independent Indian states to unite against the British. However, these self-interested and power-hungry rulers did not listen to him and instead became British puppets. After suffering multiple humiliating defeats at the hands of Tipu Sultan, the British became frustrated and began to form alliances with neighboring Indian kingdoms such as the Maratha Empire and the Hyderabad state. These Indian states helped the British in their quest to defeat Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan continued to fiercely resist invasions and inflicted huge losses on the British and their puppet allies. However, eventually, in the year 1799, the British managed to invade the kingdom of Mysore. Tipu Sultan was offered a safe passage and an escape. However, he refused to surrender and fought alongside his army against the British. Tipu Sultan was killed on the battlefield and was martyred on 4th May 1799. After the martyrdom of Tipu Sultan, the British gradually took over the rest of India.